Good morning, good afternoon. It's overcast, but it's warmer out, and I'll take that. It's good. Plus, I think there's a little rain outside too. Anyways, today I just opened a package of chicken, and I decided to, I decided to put them in the crock pot, but then I wanted to make my own chicken flavor like people used to do. So I put them in the pan with just enough water to cover the bottom, because we don't want to boil them. We want to braise them or brown them. And too much water, it's going to take too long. We want to get this going. And since this is all that would fit in the pan, we don't need to do all the chicken legs. I decided to throw the extra in here. You could do all of them, but I want to get this going. Select. There we go. And it's on high. And this will start warming up the water in there. And we use filtered water because we have a lot of iron in our water. And get our chicken. Throw that away. Actually, the chicken blood would make a good garden amendment if you mix it in well with the soil so it wouldn't attract anything. But evergreens and trees, you want to get them growing faster. Dead wild animal or leftover chicken like that, blood, it'll really do good. Now roses too. Now we got the chicken going, and I'm not gonna fry the fat because I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to get flavor, so I want meat, flavor off the meat, and I want it to turn kind of a little brownish on the bottom. So we're going to let that go until the pan runs out of water. So it's important to only put enough water to cover the bottom of the pan. And then I shifted a little bit because the flame doesn't reach everywhere. That way there's no hot spots. And so we'll let that go, no lid on it, because we want to evaporate the water and we want to brown it to make chicken flavoring. And for people who have a problem with salt and use bouillon cubes because they don't feel like they have a choice, this is how we used to do it. Some people would call it burnt gravy because they would just get in a hurry and they would burn the meat. But if you're careful and brown it so it's a golden to a little darkish brown, but not dark black brown, you get chicken bouillon. This is the right way to make your chicken bouillon. And I pull them loose because they're starting to stick. Don't be afraid, just do it. Turn it over. It's starting to get a little yellowish, but it's not brown. When I do chicken in the pot, I save the broth because if these pieces of chicken have bones in them, that's important. The bones and the cartilage especially melts down, and that gives you collagen that people pay big bucks for in a bottle. Why do it when you can get it for free? And free bouillon, there's another thing you can take off your prepper list unless you're making a dish and you're not using meat that's already dried in the container, then bouillon would be helpful. But you can get, it's called no salt bouillon, which is basically potassium bouillon. And maybe you can add a little pinch of salt in and not have to be overwhelmed with like 1,600 milligrams or even 400 milligrams of salt. Because most people on high blood pressure medicine, you start buying foods like potassium-based yogurt, or there's these sodas now that are healthier, that don't have any phosphates, and they're potassium-based, and they don't have nitrates or anything like that. They'll lower your blood pressure, so beware of that. Beware of what you put in your body. Don't just buy stuff off the shelf and taste it and go, oh, it tastes good, it tastes bad. Think about what you're putting in your body, because they took all the phosphates out of soap and they had to do something with them or go out of business. So now it's in our food, in our deli food, our drinks, vitamins. Some vitamins are loaded with phosphate, and if you get too much phosphate, it'll leach your body out. And you'll think, oh, it's old age, I hurt myself somehow, and you didn't. You ate the wrong thing. So, we're getting close to where we want it. That's good. A little bit of brown on there, and a little bit more, and we won't have to worry about no flavor. And then we just put it in the pot, and we got it going already to warm up the water that's in the bottom of the pot and the chicken. And this will speed up cooking time too. So, if you have a wood stove, great opportunity to use it instead of having to use another appliance. Or even if you have a square foot stove. And then your crock pot. If you want to cook it on low, you could probably do it with a solar panel if you had to. In our case, we don't have to worry about that right now, so we just put it on high. This chicken, we bought it fresh, so we didn't, now we got that. Put it in there. Cartilage will melt off the bone, and the bones will soften a little bit on the ends. When the meat falls off the bones, throw away the bones. Throw away the chicken skin. I could even take it off now if I wanted to, but I just want to make this quick because I refrigerate and skim off the fat. And if you get a nice white, snowy fat, skim it off, and if it's hardened enough, a little bit, it'll make great soap. If it's a little soft but white, it's still good. If it's very hard and colored in any way, you can mix it with bird seed and make a bird feeder with grain. So nothing goes to waste. And it's hard to mess up with soap when you do it with wood ashes, not glycerin. You want to use stuff that you can get in nature so you can practice at being independent. You don't have to buy something from a manufacturer or go, oh, what will he do? We can't make soap because we can't get a delivery. You gotta think independent. That means you got hardwood trees near you, great. And if you don't, plant a few. Some fruit woods will work. Oak. Black walnut, be careful. Nut trees, but especially black walnut, will take over space, especially if you're feeding a garden or you have a compost pile. They will aggressively kill any plants in competition. So beware of that if you're planting your garden and nut trees. And if you've got a bunch of nut trees in your yard, don't put a garden under it. Yeah, you can plant daylilies, non-food items that don't need to be fertilized, and they'll do fine. Wild raspberry bushes, they'll coexist with a black walnut with no problem. So, we got this nice brownish stuff in the bottom. So, we'll go over here, get our trusty spatula, Add a little water. Yeah, there's going to be some grease in there, but in the end I'm going to skim it off. So, and every part gets used except for the leftover soft bones if you wanted to. You could crunch them up with a mallet or hammer or something like that, grind them up and lay them down in the garden, mix them in real good, and they'll make fertilizer. Just be aware of some types of bones, especially cow bones. If the cow had mad cow or something like that and they didn't know it, you're breathing that in. At the very least, the particles can irritate your lungs. And at the worst, even burnt cow bones, I guess, don't kill all types of diseases like Jacob Creutzfeldt or mad cow or wasting disease in deer. So if you're using that stuff in your garden, it's okay. You can bury it near trees and stuff to help them grow, the little ashes. But don't breathe it in. So I'm gonna start my chicken, get it all set. Add a little more flavoring to my pot. It's even nice and yellow. Then I add a little bit of turkey seasoning, a little pinch, not a lot. Celery is good. Flakes you can later because they'll get cooked down to nothing. Ground up celery, the part that's not, it doesn't look that pretty to eat. It's good to grind up to fry or to use in soups and stuff like that as a flavoring. Anything and everything can be used if you think about it. Seasonings right now come in nice little handy bottles, and we don't think much about what's in them. We just pour it on our foods. Start thinking, living more thoughtful, mindful, and purposeful, and see your health change. See the world change. Have a good day.